Okay.
Alrighty.
Alrighty again.
He probably actually gets that.
He gets the reference?
Yeah, he gets the reference
because you
because
watched all the episode, haven't you? Oh,
No, I haven't. Of what?
you've
Godcast.
only missed the first episode.
Yes,
So,
I have.
Yeah,
No,
do you remember-
I vaguely remember the term.
Do you remember the reference alrighty? Do you remember that?
I do, but it was a while ago. I listened.
That's fine. Yeah, it was a while ago. We put it up anyway. Well, alrighty. This is Rob. I found him in a pool, and
Yeah, I'm so curious on how you guys actually met.
he pretty much came out like that too.
Really?
Straight out like that.
The Aussie. There we go.
Yeah. No, so just so everyone knows, this is Rob. I don't even know what your last name is.
Hawkins.
Hawkins. That's right. Yeah, we just went over that. This is Rob Hawkins, and I met this guy at P3 doing ice baths. We've been talking for the last 6 months to 8 months now. It's been already, which is just a weird thought. Yeah, that we've known each other that long.
It's been that long.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's really weird. Yeah, right. Like before I got married. And yeah, he's a follower of Christ and God. He's a believer, and he's had some crazy experiences. He's got a crazy testimony. Absolutely insane, and he's got a very new take on what it means, or a very new take on what it actually looks like to follow Christ, in the way that we understand that there's a very religious aspect to it all, which we don't want to demonize by any means, but also that you can still be an Australian and follow God. You don't have to have all this fancy kind of appearance to you, let's just say, you know what I mean? So this is Rob. Rob, I'd love for you to just take us through your upbringing, where you've kind of come from, and so that we can kind of see where you are now, and just go through your journey of what it has been to come to God and follow God up until now. So just love you to paint the picture of your childhood and where you come from.
Yeah, sure. So I grew up in Western Sydney, very lower socio-economic environment, quite rough, surrounded by a lot of violence, drugs, alcohol from a very young age. I think what helped keep me away from most of that was playing rugby league at a young age. But I was very fortunate. My mother, she fought hard, battled. She's an Aussie battler. She got me into, I don't know how, but a Catholic primary school. And that was my first introduction to God and religion. Every Friday we used to have to go to church, do the confession, do everything, say the Our Father. And as a kid I didn't mind, but after a while I got sick of it, and we had, we used to get the cane regularly and all that sort of stuff back then, and there was strict nuns and all that. And anyway, I ended up in De La Salle College at Bankstown, and there was a lot of brothers there, and they gave us a strap. One time I got the strap, and the strap then, I used to get the cane broken over my hand. I got used to that, and we got 6 of the. There was Mr. Freshwater one winter time. I got in trouble. I don't know what I'd done. I probably deserved it. And he was a big, tall guy. He was about 6'6", had a big, long stroke. And everyone said, "Oh, you don't want to get the strap of him. He'll kill you." And so it's a foot long. It's leather, and it's about an inch wide and about 12 mil, half an inch thick.
God.
So he's given me 6 of the best of them, and I thought, it's not as bad as it hurt.
I bet.
And then my maths teacher, very quiet man, smaller man, he's I don't know what I'd done. It was something small. He's taken me out of class. He's pulled out his strap and it didn't bend. Had lead in it. He gave me one. I was in tears and I was begging him not to give me another one. And he made me raise the other one. And I did that. And I was broken. Compared to the guy that gave me 6 of the best. anyway, so that kind of toughened me up and made me, pull in the line a bit. We were still doing religion there a little bit, but then I got into a bit of trouble, got into a few fights. Eventually went to a public school and then kind of drifted away from religion there. And look, by that time, to be honest, I wasn't really into it that much. But I did go to, my mum used to send me on these camps in the school holidays funded by the government, and they were Christian-based camps. And we used to sing a lot of songs. And I remember as a young kid, I was about 11 maybe, on the back of the bus, and I did accept Jesus into my life then. I do remember doing that, but I didn't really understand because I was a kid and I guess I was in the environment. They were beautiful people, wonderful people. But then I stopped going to them, and then, when I was about 12, we moved up to Brisbane with who I call my real father, my stepfather. I was been in Brisbane for the last, 30 odd years or so, and just moved down to the Gold Coast officially in the last 12 months with my mum. But how I found God in between all that was three things. First one, I tried to take my life, and I planned it meticulously, but I failed. God intervened. Second one, I fell asleep at the wheel, driving back to Brizzy at 3 o'clock one morning, and woke up and I was doing about 140 k's into the side rail, and I seen sparks, and it was like I just went into a twilight sleep, and I was living on 2 hours sleep a night as it was. I got home, parked my car, and said, that's not real. And then I seen the damage, and I was like, wow, I should be dead. And then the third one, which I'll get to in a minute, but I'll give you a bit of context to that. So I'm doing ice bars and hot cold therapy up in Brisbane. I'm sitting with this lady I met there, lovely lady, Benita. I call her my sister or an angel. I believe she was delivered there for a reason. And we're there one Saturday, and she's like, we're talking about the weekend and that. And I said, what are you doing Sunday? And she goes, I'm going to church. I'm thinking in my mind, from my past, stuff that. Like, I go fishing or something. And then she goes, do you want to come? I go, really? In my mind, I go, politely, I said, okay, yeah, why not? I'm thinking, I'm going to last 5 minutes here. Anyway, we went. It was at the Rothwell Christian Church. Turned up there, and I was just nothing like I thought it was. I thought I was going to go in there and get fed Bibles and, all this. They had an amazing band. I thought I was at a rock concert. There was kids dancing, doing colour-ins, families there, and I was like, I just sat down and sort of soaked it all up and just didn't really get in, just listened and, just observed, didn't really get into it so much. And then on the way out, they did have these cool little pizza boxes with Bibles in there if you wanted to try one, just to make it
pizza boxes?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, it was a good idea. They had in there, they had their pamphlets about Alpha Group and all the things that they do and youth group and all that. And I just had a bit of a look, but I was like, well, I'm just sort of, Anyway, it got my curiosity aroused. And so I went back the next week, and I think that was Easter Sunday in 2024. And it was massive. Like, seats were flowing out of the outside. And it wasn't, I was just even more blown away. It was a huge service. I think it was either a pediatrician or a brain, some really highly skilled doctor got baptised there. And I was like, wow, they were normal people. They weren't these religious, I won't say crazy, nothing against the Catholic system, but for me, it just didn't work for me. But it did introduce me to God and got me believing, I guess. And I did, I did get baptised as a child, as a baby. And anyway, about 3 days later, I had a serious car accident, very bad one. And I shouldn't be here. I walked from that, and and as I was saying to Jake, I was basically lost control on the wet, come down a hill. There's a big country hillside up in Neighbourhoods. And next thing, I tried to correct it. I went over the other side of the road, and I thought I was going to have a head-on with someone, so I went back that way. Next thing, it flipped back down, and I'm drifting backwards, sideways towards this cliff, and I'm flattening it. I'm in a all-wheel drive Jag, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to floor it, control everything, and then at that moment, I thought it was my grandmother. I always had a spiritual thing with my grandmother. And I just realised I got no control here. And then I realised I've had no control in my life. Like, it's all been a facade.
In those split seconds.
In that, I just had and something just said, let go. And then I just felt something flush through me. I'm getting goosebumps now talking about it.
Yeah.
And what I believe was the Holy Spirit, and I just felt at peace, like someone had just injected anesthetic into me, and I just let go, and that literally saved my life. And I later found out that's why drunk people survive, because they're relaxed. I'll show you the photos later, but essentially I just looked at the cliff, and I knew I'm dead now, and I just said, I'm happy to die in this Jag, and I was ready to go.
Wow.
And I just literally let go. I hit this guardrail. I later found out it's like a 60-kilo post that's got all the rails as well. Yeah. Smashed that clean out, ripped it out, bolts, everything, went 60 metres in the bush. Supposed to stop a 20-ton truck. Folded the driver's door, hit me on this side in here, folded the door completely in, and it should have opened and just cut me in half. Wow. But there's this little safety thing on the Jags where the catch flicked open and bent down. There was literally that much stopping the door from coming through.
Oh my God.
About a foot behind me in the passengers was a massive big hole, what looked like a star picket that would have gone through. Now, if it had been 30 centimetres forward, it would have gone up and just gone straight through me, all my organs. And then when I rolled, there was all these rocks and tree stumps and things like that should have crushed my head, right? But all this beautiful lantana and plants just folded over and glid me all the way down. I later found out all this, like I didn't realise at the time. I went back to the scene. I'll tell you, there's more.
Yeah.
And my mate analysed it. He said, mate, you are so lucky. He said, and where I had the crash, so I had to drive past 5 times to find it again.
Wow.
Because I went back several months later and they'd refreshed everything. And so I'm upside down in the car, and it felt like all the roof was crushed in because I'm literally hanging, and all the windscreen was in. And for a moment, I thought I had people with me. I thought, oh no, I've killed people, and I was like freaking out. And it's like I looked around and just going, oh, okay, it's just me. And then I seen fluid coming down. It was raining. I thought it was water. I thought it was petrol. I thought I'm going to blow up. So I thought, oh, how am I going to get out? Anyway, I'm looking around. The driver's side door was crushed. The other door, basically, it was one little tiny hole. And lucky I'd been doing hot cold therapy and I'd lost a bit of weight. Yeah. And I just squeezed through like a little rabbit. It's like, I couldn't believe it. And then, because I just thought, I'm happy to die, but I do not want to burn alive,
Absolutely.
Anyway, so I got out and I just walked out, looked back down at the crash site, and I was like, I'm dead looking at my own death site here, surely.
Yeah.
And I looked down and I had a big hematoma from where it hit. I didn't feel anything here, and I just had a pair of shorts on. I had one little cut, a tiny little cut. And all I started thinking about was on my phone, and then I thought, well, hang on, I better flag someone down because I'm going to go in the shock soon and probably start, I don't know, fall over. So I crossed the road, flagged someone down. They called the ambulance. And surprisingly, I was pretty calm the whole way. The ambulance was going, you're so calm, Rob. I said, yeah, I could bake a cake and deliver a baby at the moment. It was like, I couldn't believe, but I'd just done hot cold therapy as well.
Yeah.
And I probably was a bit of shock, I don't know. But so I went to hospital, had a good sleep. They done scans, nothing wrong with me. not a thing. No hematomas in the head. So I went home that night. I cooked I thanked my lucky stars, like I started reflecting. And I was like, just in a twilight, like what happened? So I had a few drinks and I cooked myself the biggest steak possible and thought, I'm so grateful. So from that point, I started thinking about lots of things and, like grateful to be alive. Like I look back and like I said, I should be dead. And anyway, so a few days later, it was my birthday. And then the next week I started going to church and I started really listening to the gospel. I started to feel it. I don't know if I would say I had maybe I did have a relationship with God, but it was from him to me. I think for a lot of times that he was carrying me and I didn't realise that at the time. He certainly plucked me out of death 3 times.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Same.
And he saved my bacon quite a few times since then. And for a while there I thought it was me, but it wasn't. We're not superhuman. So... and then I come down here and I found the Burleigh Church of Christ. My mum and sister been going to the op shop for a long time. And, I thought it was just a beautiful little church. And I like all churches, but for me that sort of was like community-based. It was about helping people. Started going there and got baptised in December last year and... haven't really looked back, got a few tats, so now I'm sort of living, walking, talking, meeting cool dudes like Jake.
So you'd say like that recent baptism was the real baptism?
Yes, the full immersion,
Yep.
And so now I'm on this massive learning journey. I'm getting people to say, read this, do that, so what I'm trying to do is, I love hearing stories.
Yeah.
I love when Jake told me about it, I started listening because I love hearing other people's journeys and mine's unique to me, but people come to God or God grabs them in different ways, For me, I needed a few smacks in the head to say, hey mate, I've saved your bacon 3 times now, just hello, can you not read the big sign? Come on, Rob, you're a bit thick, mate. So I got the message, dude. And
dude.
And it gets real when you call God bro.
Yeah, bro. And what was I saying? Yeah, so I'm just on this journey now of learning, loving life. I've got a different lens on life now. I used to be one of those people, everything, the world sucks, it's horrible, it's not fair, you get angry at people. I used to want to fight everyone and that. And now, when I see someone angry, in the past I get my heckles up a bit. Now I think, what's going on, bro? Seriously, want to have a coffee? I've always had that compassion, but, we get attacked.
Yes.
A lot. And when you're under attack, you get into the fight or flight mode and you get defensive and all that. So
the attack's like your pride, your ego, doesn't it?
Well, look, I think for now I'm very humbled.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say we all have egos, but I wouldn't say I had a big ego. I've always thought there's always someone better than you. I've tried to always keep myself down to earth and grounded. I despise people who walk around and think their shit don't stink and all that. I can't stand people like that. It's seriously, the world doesn't revolve around you.
Yeah.
So, and I've had other events in my life that have, made me humble, I guess, as well. But, we all do sort of get a bit overconfident. I'm confident, but I wouldn't say I'm cocky or... Yeah. Hopefully I don't come across that way. I don't mean to. That's certainly not my intent, but...
it's a hard line between...
But if you start going down that, he will humble you.
Yeah.
He'll put a pothole in front of you, say you trip over and break your freaking leg or smash your mouth out. Well, something will happen. He'll make sure, hello.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's happened to me a few times, for sure.
It's happened to your dad.
To that girl. Yeah, so... and I love that. And I'm, so now... I do have a relationship with him. I do talk to him daily. He talks to me. He doesn't give me many, big, long instructions. He gives me simple things. One night, I wanted to go to a party with a mate of mine, Nathan. I don't know if you met Nathan. Yep.
And
I just felt like I was getting attacked. I could feel my back getting up a bit. I didn't know what it was. Anyway, I'm in the bath and he just said, don't go tonight. So I didn't. I don't know why, but I listened to it. So now I walk blind. I follow blindly. He's more than proven himself. He's covered had my back so many times that I trust him wholeheartedly. I'm going through ugly divorce and settlement, but I know that he's going to take care of me in the end.
I think we would both say that I don't think you walk blindly, but walk by faith.
Yes, yeah, blind faith, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, faith is a lot of people use that word blind because you can't see it in directly, but the faith itself is because of the knowing you can trust God.
But I do see it not with my eyes, I do see it with my spirit.
Exactly.
So I do say you're right, it's not blind. I guess when you say blind, if you can't feel it, see it, touch it, if you can't see the physical realm. Exactly. And I used to be like that. Well, where is he? Come on, I want to meet him and have a beer with him.
Yeah, literally.
That's the fleshly thing that we all do, because that's what we know. We live on planet Earth. But yeah, like I said, he's he's given me 3 smacks in the head and I finally got it. Yeah. So to speak.
Do you have a spot you want to take it off from?
I'd only just say, how do you discern that voice? How do you know that he's talking to you?
Because it comes from a place of love, and there's nothing for him to gain out of that. It's not sometimes the deceiver's pretty good. And I do ask him to help me sort of discern that. But generally, if there's something sinister, there's red flags. You get better each day. I wouldn't say I'm perfect at it, because the deceiver's pretty clever and he's very relentless.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just as a side joke, when I met Jake, and actually, do you want to say how you first met me? Do you remember?
I think I do. We were literally just at P3, and I don't know how we got talking, but the first thing I learnt about Rob is that, that's right. So, you know how girls will get a butterfly tattoo above their arse or something really cute? Yeah. He is risen in bold capital letters, massive on his lower back. And I was like, Bailey, I was like, look at that. I was like, that's something. He is risen. And I was like, know what that means?
No, it wasn't that. It was my top one. It said Jesus died for us.
Oh, I saw both.
And I saw both. Yeah. I heard, and I'm drying my back or something, and all I heard was, he did rise for us, or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I've turned around and go, I totally forgot about it. What are you talking about, mate? He goes, he did rise for us. I go, who? He said, Jesus. And he said, on your back. And that's how we got talking. And then we got talking about, I got talking about, I don't know if it was that conversation. I said, oh, look, the next tat, I'm not going to do it now, because I realise it's wrong. But I said, look, I feel like the devil's always on my ass. I said, when I read my word of the day in the morning, I go on the throne and I dump the devil downstairs as I'm reading the word of the day. Yeah. I said, he's always on my ass, so I'm just going to get a tat there anyway of him, just to remind him that he belongs at the bottom.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, but good. I've got some spiritual advice, and that's acknowledging the devil and God doesn't want you to do that. So. Yeah. But I thought it was a cool concept, because I saw the intention for sure. I literally do enjoy dumping the devil down and flushing him away every morning as I'm reading my gospel.
Exactly.
So yeah, we have a bit of humour, and look, God puts a lot of humour in things.
Yeah, so, definitely.
He's a pretty fun, cool dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is one of those weird realizations when you realize that I've actually heard him say some funny things to me before. I just hear a joke and I'm like, am I going crazy right now? I didn't make that up. That was good.
Yeah.
And it was also a learning in it as well. It's a teaching inside itself. I think the funniest one that Toby's had was when he's with Jesus in the stream for like 5 hours, walking with him in the wilderness, and he's like a shepherd.
What an awesome dream!
And he's got this like sheep. The sheep are following him, and Jesus is like, oh, my sheep are good, and they got like really strong wool and all this kind of stuff, but don't walk behind my sheep because though they are my sheep, sometimes they shit from time to time. So if you walk behind them, you're going to step in their shit and it's going to leave an odor.
Yeah.
He's like, don't do that. Come at my right hand.
Yeah.
Come walk right next to me. Why would you follow my sheep?
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. And I was like, I thought that was the best analogy ever. And I was like, this kid would not make that up.
Yeah.
Like, this is just in a dream. I was like, spot on. That's exactly the way to do it.
That's gold.
Yeah.
Like, it's the crazy thing with I think with me and Jake is like we each have different abilities. Like Jake has an ability to be very he has a way with words. Like he has something called prophetic ability. And then with me, it's like I've had dreams about Jesus which have lasted for 7 months. And they've been consistent as well, and they link together. And it's just revealed crazy things that happen not only to me but to my father as well, and to my brother. He saved my brother's life.
Wow.
And it's just
saved your life,
and saved my life as a baby. So yeah, I know what you're feeling when you say like something saved my life and like you nearly died. And I was like, yeah, I understand completely, for sure.
Yeah, and I read, it might have been today's word of the day, that people either go find him or he comes to you in different ways. We've all got different journeys, and that, like I said, I love stories. I love hearing people's stories and how they found him. Jake's told me a few things as well. So I find that because it, like the gospel's good, but I just find it's a learning. Like the Bible's huge, but just hearing today's stories of what's happened to people, it's real.
Yeah.
People we're not just making this stuff up, right?
Yeah.
Like for the non-believers out there, one day he will find you or you'll find him. You just like me, I was in the darkness. We all were. He created us all. He wants us all to be good. He forgives even the most evil of people that have done the most heinous crimes. And I guess for me, I'm trying to walk in that light with grace, with compassion, and like I said, I've got a different lens on life, and I'm loving life now. Like there's still some horrible things happening in life, but I'm loving it, and just in treating, thinking back to that car accident, particularly treating every day like it could be my last, and I want to leave this place on good terms.
What do you think, just a question that I feel like God just gave me, what is your calling in God, do you think?
I'm still trying to figure that out, but so far I think it's fellowship in the terms of going out, meeting people like you. There's been a couple of people that I've met and have come back to church. One lady got baptised, and I don't feel like I did anything. Like I just met her down at Miami, and we had a really good chat one day, and then we caught up for coffee again. And it was a Sunday, and I said, "Oh, look, I've got to go now, Veronica. I've got to go." She said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to church." She goes, "Can I come too?" I went, "Bloody oath." She came, and then about 6 weeks later, she got baptised. So I think, I've been told by one of my spiritual leaders at the church, Corel, that she thinks I'm, I don't know what the term is, but I basically go out and meet people and help bring them. I'm a vessel to bring them to the Holy Spirit. And connect with the Holy Spirit on other levels. Yeah.
I literally heard a word come to me I was going to wait until to see what you said to confirm it. But I heard preacher, and that very much ties into like evangelism. But preacher doesn't mean like the kind of preaching you would Catholic, what you would think is religious preaching. Preaching is just preaching the gospel far and wide to all nations.
Yeah.
And that's sharing through the love of Christ, sharing through the forgiveness, sharing through communion with people. Preaching is literally just walking down the street and just having a yarn with someone and then inviting them to church. And you know what? Funnily enough, your exact coming back to God was exactly that. You technically got preached to.
I did. I kind of got, I'll say it's probably not the right word, but recruited.
Yeah. I know like he never wanted to be called a Christian, but Christian just means to follow Christ.
Yeah.
Preaching has got this like real stigma to it, right? Where we're like, repent or go to, you know what I mean? Like that's not preaching, bro. That's not what that was built off in the foundation. So
I had a really good cool chat with like with the librarian. She's like based up in Burley, like near that Social Brew Cafe. And I was talking to her about like, what type of like book she recommended me. And it's about David and Goliath. A fantasy, like a fictional tale that's a spin-off from that story. And we were talking about just her faith, like about like if she believes in God and anything. She's like, I don't really want to call myself a Christian. I want to call myself a follower of the way. And I see this like this growing like perspective that's all about trying to figure out the relationship in the religion now. It's very different. It's very interesting.
I think there are a lot, and I hear this a lot, there's a lot of lost people out there searching for some meaning and purpose in life. And, a lot of people, and I've heard a lot now, a lot of people go, the universe done something for me. Because they're not there yet. And I don't say anything, I just go, okay, well, I kind of used to think like that too. So you're just at a different part of your journey for now. But, I think, I've always worn my heart on my sleeve, which is why I've got these tats. Eventually, I'm going to get a big cross and whatnot. So I'll be a billboard for God.
Love it.
I'm proud. I'm getting a big cross on my back and some words in
Hebrew.
So maybe Yahweh or something. I'm not sure. I want to get some advice off you. And I want to, plan it. But I'll get a cross similar to this. I like that kind of style on the back, and then maybe some scales. I'm not sure. So there's more to come.
Lovely, man. Lovely.
And it was cool because sometimes I go down and visit my father who's got his ashes down on Currumbin Creek. I was walking down there with my headphones. Just walking down there, and they didn't have the shirt on. It was hot. And one dude, actually, it was just after Australia Day, I think, or New Year's, can't remember. Anyway, one dude goes, "Oh, I love your tap, bro." And I forgot about it. And I turned around, and he was a Christian, and he was like, he'd been partying, and he left his suitcase down with the homeless people in the industrial area. And he had a laptop and all that, but what he was really worried about was his Bible. I said, mate, I'll take you down to my car and we'll go look for it. He said, I've already been down there twice. And I said, anyway, so I met another Christian that way. So, it was pretty cool. And, so I'm proud to wear it.
Yeah, I think that was just something that keeps coming up is this very I think preacher is in like evangelist because you're so relatable, like to the foundation of like Australian culture, and like you experience like in the Catholicism in the Catholic system, it's very not Australian culture. Like even though like Australians have this very like built upon Christian culture and Jesus like teachings and stuff like that, it very much can leave a really bad taste in your mouth, right? Just the experience of like how many people have gone to Catholic Sunday churches and Catholic system schools, and it from what I've understood, from what they've taught and what it's been about and what it's built on, there's so much missing. And it gives you this like halfness of like man religion and like God, and it's just like it's just not relationship. They're not preaching the word fully. And I mean, that can be hard, obviously. That can be very hard in the whole system of trying to teach kids and all this stuff, and I get that. But yeah, I just feel like you're super relatable and your testimony's so strong that like you just talking to the average Australian dude who just has no clue or is like this is the thing I'll give you as well. I felt like it's coming to me now because this was really encouraging to me. But Jesus says that in like he's talking about like the end days, like when we're getting really close to his second coming, that the harvest would be great, but the workers would be few. And so he says, like essentially he's saying that so many will be so willing, but the workers will be few. And I feel like that's just a call to know that like so many people are way more open than we think when we're talking to them. So many, like these days you got New Age spirituality, you got Hinduism, Buddhism, then you've got all these people calling it the universe, and some people have had actually interactions with God, like yourself in the past, but didn't know it, and dreams and just like the visions and all these crazy things that are really speeding up now. You can just notice how like crazy it's getting. With the spiritual world interacting, right? But that there's so many people that you're called to bring to the faith, for sure. Like, and that's through relatability, and that's through testimony, and it's no amount of effort that will really come from you, rather than just being yourself. In that, right? Like, it's not like don't force it. It's like.
No, I don't. I live it and breathe it. It's natural to me. It's a passion now. Like it's.
I see you all the time in the pools. You're always talking to someone, bro.
Yeah,
like all the time.
I do. I just love people, mate. I just love people. Yeah, I do. I like Katrina said. You know, she generally is it Katrina? Yeah. I listen to her, and she's like generally cares about people, and I always have, but. You know, the deceiver's always at work, you know, and it doesn't go without attack. We all get attacked daily.
Yep.
You know, Christians, it's hard work being a Christian.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you're fighting every day.
Could I ask a question? Yeah. What are the personal and specific things that you had to unlearn, like from, say, like growing up in that Australian culture, that Catholic school?
Look, it's... You know, I used to always, you know, particularly growing up Western Sydney, it was a dog-eat-dog world.
Yeah. Is it Bankstown?
Yeah. Greenacre, Bankstown, yeah.
Oh, man.
Close.
Yes.
So, you know, when I was 9, I started drugs, alcohol and cigarettes.
Wow.
Holy shit. Wow.
By the time I was 11, we had our older mates that were 13, 14 overdosing on heroin behind the Greenacre Library. So if I didn't get out of there, I probably would have been there, a bikie, whatever. Would have, and it's not because of my mum, like she done everything, but you know, I used to lie a little bit until I was going like all kids do, and I'd be away, you know, smoking bongs or doing all that sort of stuff. But you know, you do what you can to survive in the environment. So, but it was very dog eat dog. So I've kind of lived by that. You know, it's been ingrained in me from the start, and the whole David and Goliath. Well, I'll just share something quite personal, and I didn't realise this for a long time why I've been like that. But my biological father used to come home and verbally abuse my mother a lot. And I was only a kid and I couldn't do anything about it. And she used to tell me I just used to sit there and grind my teeth and get my car up and down like this on really hard on the ground. So it's like all this pent up energy. Anyway, one time he come in and she's always trying to ignore him. She's at the sink and it looked like he was coming over to like physically assault her. And I just started learning how to play footy and actually tackle. And I seen it happen. I got up and I went over and I barreled him. I knocked him clean on his ass. Knocked him over and he got up and I was like a wild bear. I was ready to kill him. And just went into protective mode. And he got up and he threatened to belt me, and every time he did, he took his belt off, his pants fell down. So that happened again, and I just laughed at him and I said, I'm going to smash. I don't know, I was going off tap. And the only thing that stopped me was my mum come over. And ever since then, I've felt like I've had to fight the world.
Yeah.
You know, being the smaller guy on the footy field, whatever.
I relate to that.
So, yeah, we have talked about that. So that whole dog eat dog. But now I realise it's not that we're all under attack and people are just fighting the devil. It's a spiritual.
We all have the same enemy. Yeah.
Do you feel like everyone's on like a chain in a sense? Like it's some like people who aren't aware of it, people are just kind of just trapped by something.
Yeah, I was on that too. Yeah. You know, and then I tried, when I grew up, I tried to, particularly in my first marriage, I tried to compensate because my biological father never provided. He drank. He was a good worker, but everything was about the drink. You know, his demon was the alcohol. And like I said, without my mum, I don't know how she survived. Like she's my hero, definitely, and one of my angels. But so when I grew up, when I first got married, I thought, okay, my job's to provide, and I just worked. I used to work 18 hours a day sometimes.
Wow.
120 hours a week, running a job and my business and all that.
Gosh.
But I look at, now it's more quality over quantity, and money's just a means to an end. A lot of people go around worshipping money. Sure, money's important, but at the end of the day, if you're, when Bill Gates is dead on his deathbed, all the horrible things he's done and all the millions, what is it going to count for? So I've got a different lens. Like, I wouldn't say Earth is heaven, but if you look at it through the light lens, and if you always try and look for the brighter side, that's what I try and do. Always look for the light. And if I see people that can't see it, I'll try and help them where I can. So my perspective's a lot different these days, and I think that God reaching out to me and literally saving my life and grabbing me, and then the journey I've been on, it's allowed me to see things, and I'm really at peace and happy. Man.
That's so good.
And I can forgive people. Even my ex-wife, I've forgiven her. She's doing some horrible things to me right now. Yeah. And all I want her to do is find God. Yeah. And free her life, be free. So I'm free. Like, if I die tomorrow, I'm a happy man. Yeah. In fact, I've asked to jump the queue so I can go and see Jesus. Yeah. No, not really. No. But look, he wants me here for a reason. Yeah. And it's probably something like me and Jacob talked about. So I'm happy to do that. And, I told him this morning I'm happy to serve him and do whatever it is that he wants me to do, whatever my purpose is. Yeah. And I just ask him to protect me and my people, my family, you guys, everyone. Yeah. The world's in quite an unstable state, and there's a lot of scared people out there, and lost. Yeah. So,
a lot of confusion.
As much as the devil's at work, I think God's letting him do so much. God will let him think he's won, but he's the creator. So so I'm at peace with that. I'm at comfort. Even when you look at your bank balance and it's only $2, it's going to be okay. Yeah. Like, he doesn't have to prove himself to me. I just have that faith.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, without needing to see.
Yeah.
I have a really personal question, which goes a little deeper again. Have you forgiven your biological father?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Only very recently, I realised. In fact, I never went to his gravesite, but I realised I think he got cremated. My sister arranged that. He passed away from lung cancer. Well, it was either going to be alcoholic poisoning or lung, because he's... Yeah. But yes, I have. Yeah.
How'd you do that?
I just realised that while I'd let go of a lot of other things, I was still holding on to that frustration and anger towards him, and it was only eating me alive. So I had to free myself of that as well. So
yeah, it's one of those really cool things that that forgiveness is almost, it's actually more for yourself, and it's a gift for the other person if they want to receive it.
Yeah.
If they want to accept forgiveness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I realise, like, I've seen people struggle with alcohol, and it is a demon and addiction, and it just got the better of him, and he was a selfish man and that, but underneath, like, I got to know him a little bit before he passed away, and he did love us. Underneath, I think he was a good person, and I've heard some things from my mother since, and some of them remind me of me. He was a bit of a Aussie larrikin, and used to joke around, but unfortunately got his priorities wrong, and so I don't harbour any anger. It's more hurt.
Do you think that was the result of like an upbringing or a chain that he had, or do you think it's like demonic?
Yeah. Oh, look, him and his brothers, that they all used to get on the grog. I think it's part of his upbringing. Like, you know, they were taken to the pub at 14 and they used to drink like troopers. Back then, you got no ID.
Yeah, yeah.
Didn't need ID or anything like that. So it was very different back then.
Yeah.
There definitely was a heavy drinking culture. And I suppose you just get used to it. It becomes normal. And, you know, he used to go at the brickyards. He'd be up at 5 o'clock in the morning and his breakfast would be a KB beer, cold beer.
Yeah, right.
And a Winfield Red cigarette. That was his breakfast.
Jeez.
At 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that'll do something to you over time.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
it's such a big thing in Australian culture. It's like drinking is one of the things that we've normalized. I
think it's the whole communion thing, because we're so British from our descent, right? That like it's the banter of drinking and just sitting around drinking and having a chat, and there's something really beautiful about that. But then, you know, of course, we know spirits to be spirits, right?
Yeah.
You know, like drink the spirits, get the spirits.
Yeah.
And you know, so we understand what that does. I'd love to flash into those 3 times that God saved you. And I'd love, I'm not sure, you wanted to go in a little more detail. I think you had a little more detail about maybe one of them or all of them. But specifically the first time, take us through this like how you got to that point. And I know it's a very personal thing, so just let me know.
I'm cool with that. Yeah.
But yeah, let us know where you're at, like state-wise and like life-wise there, and then what was it that God, like, how did He save you in that moment? Do you think?
So I think, I was on a lot of prescription medication that I shouldn't have been, under the trust and guidance of my ex-partner psychiatrist, and he had me on these horrible sleeping tablets, and it was driving me crazy. All I'd live for is to have the tablet so I could go to sleep and stop the noise in my head. I wasn't in a good state. And basically I just hit what I thought was rock bottom. I was down a dark well, the light went out and I was done. So one night my son was home. I waited for him to go to bed. It was about 10 o'clock and I'd planned it meticulously, and I was literally on the way from my office to my bedroom, and I was going to take every pill I had in my drawer, and I had fuckloads. I don't know what was going to work, but I was just going to take the lot.
Wow.
And he should have been asleep for 2 hours, and as I'm on my way from the office to the room, he come out. And he intervened and he asked what I was doing, and I just said, look, I'm going, I'm done.
Your son said that to you?
I said to him, just go back to bed. I'm done.
Wow. I
said, I'm leaving. I've had enough.
Yeah.
I felt nothing. I didn't care.
How old was your son at the time?
34, I think. Yeah. 33, 34.
Mm-hmm. How long ago was this?
August 2022.
Okay, yeah.
Was it 22?
3 years ago?
No, 23, sorry. 23.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah. So that was then. Anyway, I got put in the hospital for a couple of weeks and done a factory reset, and that was the best thing ever. I got off all the drugs and that. 6 weeks later, after seeing a good psychologist, started going for walks, getting the good sunshine, and then I started changing my diet. So I started changing myself physically, got my mental health back, made sure my mental health was 100% every day before 9 o'clock. So I'd go for walks, started swimming, just started to improve myself. Then I discovered hot cold therapy. And through that journey, I was allowed to do a lot of emotional release, which opened up my spiritual side, I believe. You know, we've all got different spheres. You got physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual.
Was this like a men's group type of thing, or was it like?
No. This is just my own thing that I put myself through and just discovered.
Yeah.
So that was that time, and then in February 2024 was when I had the falling asleep.
Yeah.
I was actually down here for my sister's birthday, and we're up at, where were we? We're up at her daughter's place at Nerang. Anyway, I was going to drop them back here at Burleigh, go to sleep, get up at 5 and drive home. Well, it was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I thought, I'm not going to go to sleep. I'll just drop them home and I'll drive home. So I drove home about 3 or 4 in the morning. I started feeling tired and I was splashing the water and, putting the window down and all that. I thought, I better pull over. Like, it's getting pretty bad. But I couldn't pull over. There was like 4 lanes and there was nowhere to pull over. And I'm in there's 4 lanes. I was in the second or third lane. There was one more lane. I didn't want to go near the barrier in case I swerved a little bit. Next thing, I woke up and there was just sparks everywhere and I was doing over 100, 120 or something, flying. And I thought I was going to ride. I didn't know. It was I just woke up to I thought it was fireworks.
Yeah,
it was just like twilight. And then I pulled over and realised I slowed right down to 40 and it's like there was no one on the road. I've got to pull over somewhere. And I think I drove 40 almost the whole way home. I think I might have pulled over where I could, not on the highway, somewhere in Brisbane. And then, like I said, I pulled up, got in my garage finally where there was light. And I thought, am I dreaming? Like I was so tired. I was living on 2 hours sleep because of my back pain then. I got out and had a look and there was these 2 dings in the car where I'd hit the rail and I got, okay, far out, it really happened. I wasn't just dreaming. And that just, so I was pretty rattled that night and then, but I got over it, didn't think too much. And then, the serious car accident, that was definitely the wake-up call.
Yeah.
And there was, did you have a question?
Not at the moment, but
Okay.
I will for sure.
Yeah. I feel it. So there was a couple more details you had about the, you said that you went back months later, and you said that was a couple things.
Oh, yes. Oh, this will blow your mind.
Let's go.
Oh, so
I thought it was important to catch that note.
Thank you for it. Yes. So when they retrieved the car from the accident, I managed, they went down and got my phone and my bag with my laptop and that, but I just bought these brand new Bose headphones. They were awesome. And I had it on the dash charging. They found the case, but not the little buds. It's like, I want those buds. And I wanted to go back and clean up the site because they didn't take all the debris. They didn't take the 60 kilo thing, which I've got at home now to remind me every day.
Yeah.
So I went back there and I can't remember how long. I don't think it had been repaired. I can't remember whether they'd repaired the work or not. Anyway, it had all grown and that, and it was down a hill. It was a hot day. Anyway, so I wet myself, put on these long pants, and then I was worried about brown snakes. And so I'm in there, and I followed where the car hit, and I found one, like a breadcrumb trail, and God said, work hard and you'll find them. So I got a Bunnings umbrella, and I literally raked down the hill from where I thought I crashed. And I'm going for about an hour.
Yeah.
And I shit you not, went, no way, there's this little white thing. I found one. I found one of the earbuds in this bloody bush.
The Amazon.
The Amazon. And as I'm going along, I'm cleaning up, right? Yeah. I'm making little piles because I took it all with me. I hurt nature. I wanted to clean up properly because they just took the car and they left the debris.
Yeah.
So
I'm guessing this is the middle of nowhere.
I got parts of the car, yeah. This is off the side of a mountain heading out towards Daybra. There's parts of the car, I'm cleaning them up, and they're breadcrumbs because, that part of the car must be near there. That's the dash, whatever. And then he said, and so I got inspired and went up and had a drink of water. It was hot. Anyway, I kept going. I thought, I've got to find the other one. It can't be that far. 3 hours later, I'm still going. I'm sweating like I'm almost breaking this. I didn't have a rake, so I'm just got a Bunnings umbrella, right? Using it, just sifting through the grass, hoping the brown snake doesn't pop out at me. Yeah. And I just got a message, just keep going, you'll find it. So I did. And 3 hours later, I found it, the other earbud.
So sick.
And then I also had a little massage gun I was looking for. I was there from about 9 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night when the moon came out. And by then, I'd stood up 2 or 3 trees to restore them.
Yeah.
I'd put all the crap, and I had a massive pile, like probably as big as this. I'd worked my guts. I was exhausted, right?
Yeah.
But he just that was my repayment to to nature and to God because I'd already got my earbuds. And then during the process, as I was looking, I looked deep in this like lantana. What is that? I went in a bit more. Oh my God, it was the post.
Oh, shit.
So halfway through the day, at some point, trying to find the earbuds and sitting down having a rest, looking around going, I better clean up that. Like I wanted to clean up.
Yeah.
I found it. So I humped the thing up, had to have a rest. It was like, it's heavy.
Yeah.
It's fucking heavy. And so I got it up, chucked it in the back of my ute along with all the other stuff. And it was a long day. I think I lived on a couple of protein bars. But by the end of the day, I walked away and I felt at peace, like I'd done the right thing for nature. I'd cleaned up. And then I went back not long ago, and those 2 trees I stood up are living. They were crushed.
Yeah.
They were living.
Wow.
So I was pretty happy with that.
Wow.
It was like goalposts.
That's so sick, man.
So I was like, yeah. So I was up there not long ago around about the time that I had the accident before, and I took a film of it. So I'll see if I can find it and share it with you later.
We'll put on the episode too.
Yeah.
On YouTube,
Yeah. So I get chills. I just, wow.
What do you think that's taught you about what do you think God has told you about work, the importance of work in that moment?
Oh, look, I've always been a hard worker, but I guess, you know, if you persist even through the hard times, you know, you only reap what you sow.
Yeah.
So if you only put a few seeds down, you know, your chances are. So I try to plant seeds everywhere and just keep digging and planting them. And, you know, like you said, just keep going. And to my amazement, I thought I'd never find one earbud, let alone both of them.
So it's that persistence that he was kind of telling you about. Yeah.
So, I mean, part of my sort of dog eat dog, I never give up.
Yes.
On the footy field, I don't care how. I'll actually go for the biggest guy on the field first.
Yeah.
Deliberately.
Yeah.
Because they'll target, if they don't,
throw a sling at
if I don't do that, they'll target me.
Yeah.
So if I get the ball, I'll run at the biggest guy and I hope he belts the crap out of me, and I'll get up and I'll say my grandmother hits harder than that. And that's just me.
That's so sick, man. That's so sick.
And even if it hurts, I'll still get up and smile at him.
Yeah.
That's just the work ethic. Like, that's just what I've been built on. But, you know, God, it's been God, you know, putting that into me. And
there's like similar traits that you share with even like Jesus and how he embraced his cross as well. Like, it was hurting and it sucked for him as well. And then it's like, he was just happy to take it. Oh,
yeah,
it's like
not happy, but he just
sucked
it up.
Sucked it up, yeah.
Because, you know, like, well, what I realise now is...
Jesus sucked it up.
Let's not go there. I didn't say that. No, what I've learnt now is, you know, that I've always known persistence pays off, but where as much as you're going to get attacked, you know that God's going to win.
Yeah.
You know, so I guess I'm at peace with that, and as much as I get anxious and frustrated and sometimes angry at things, I just got to realise God's got your back. It's all good. Relax, bro.
Yeah.
You know, it's a really cool scripture that comes to mind that gave me a lot of peace, and it was, blessed are you when they mock and persecute you because of me, for your reward will be great in heaven.
Yep. And I seen a really cool analogy the other week. Might have been on Facebook or something. Anyway, there was these 2 carrots in the ground, both with their green things sticking at the top, and it showed one person who'd been waiting for a while, and it was this little tiny carrot. And then this other person that was bloody waiting forever, but it was a massive carrot.
Oh, yeah, pulling it out underneath the ground.
And it said, you know, so, you know, you look around and compare, oh, this person's got this and that. I don't do that anymore. I just go, whatever he's got planned for me, he's got planned.
Yeah.
You know, I just accept it.
Yeah.
There's things that I want of the fleshly world, like I'd love some money to buy my mum a house and stuff like that. And if that happens, it happens. But I've learnt to hope for the best, expect nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. You know? And you have faith that God will give what you need.
He will provide.
Provide what you need. Exactly.
Like if I've got $2 in my bank account, I'm not. I know that could turn into 2,000, 2 million, whatever.
Yeah.
Food on the table, he'll provide.
Yeah.
You know, I've learnt to survive in, you know, some pretty rough things, and you know, if I have to sleep on the street and be homeless, and so be it. You know, it's not the worst.
Yeah.
Worst thing that can happen.
Sounds like Josh. Like Josh is like living on like $200 like right now, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe less.
Sorry, Josh.
I mean, that was me for a month, like not long ago.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a slight story, but like for maybe 5 days we had no money, like nothing to buy food. We had food for the week, but you know, nothing to buy anything extra whatsoever, right? And this is like we had like $50 maybe laying over for like a whole month, maybe 5 weeks. Wow. And then so like we're living here and we're like, we really want our own place. Like we see that for us and we want our own place. And I was like, but God kept saying that don't focus on your business. Don't be feeding your business like heavily, which was the only income we had.
That would have been hard.
Yeah, let me tell you. And that's been the case for like ever since I came to God. Was my business went down 40-50% when I came to God, because he said, like, you got to hand it over. You have to rest. You have to let me take over. You're holding the steering wheel too tight.
Is this like Katrina?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think that's it's like everyone has their own like vehicle thing they're trying to take control of in their life.
Their own chain.
Their own chain, exactly. They're holding tight to not be beaten down by the world or whatever it is.
Maybe they need to slide backwards down a hill in a car.
Hey, man. I'm glad that's not what I had to go through. I had my own sliding down the backwards of a car, I guess. But yeah, long story short, like there's been quite a few times where that money's been that vice, and I've had to let go of that, and that's been like a testing of my faith, big time. Like it was like I was the provider, I was the one making the money. Like, what's going to happen? We're going to have no money, can't pay rent, we're going to on the street. Like, what kind of a man I am if that happens to me and my wife? Like,
all right, I got a question. And what has he done now?
Okay, yes,
yeah.
So, so this is the craziest thing too. Like, he's told me like time and time again, like, you will have many clients. Do not worry about money. You will have money. You will be blessed. He's told, and I've just heard this through prayer time with him. And I'm like, what am I to be believing that I'm just telling myself this just to make myself feel better so I don't do anything? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
or is it the deceiver?
Is it the deceiver? So like I don't work hard and all this kind of stuff. And I've been a hard worker for sure. Like that was my dad. He was 60 hours in the kitchen, busting his ass, all the situations, right? So and so long story short, what ended up happening was randomly I knew Noah, who's runs the Brothers in Christ, who we had on the podcast, right? He was one of the owners for the cafe that's starting. And so long story short, we knew him. We knew he was starting a cafe. My Bailey had visions of like owning a cafe and all this kind of stuff. And then just one time in a sauna, 2 days, 3 days before they opened the cafe, I didn't even know they were opening. I was just like, you should like text Noah about that. Like, why not? I had a feeling that God had like less in my bank account, so that my pride was, and I was humbled in that enough to like push her to do it, because she wouldn't have done it on her own.
Yep. She would have just been comfortable. Well, she would have been like, well, we're sweet. We don't need to change.
Exactly.
And this is where he peels you back, right?
Yeah. So I really believe that I was like, because of my faith of like, I believe you, God, that like you're going to provide when like you're telling me not to work on my business. It's really confronting, because like there's so much in the Bible that would go against that. Like, work hard for your toil. You reap what you sow. But what was I reaping? I was reaping patience. I was reaping peace. I was reaping love. And I was also unknowingly sowing into a situation for my wife to go on her journey. And I didn't know that though. So it's like really, you got to be really careful of the whole reap and sow thing. That I'm only realizing this right now. Like work hard, yes, 100%. There's no such thing as do nothing and God hands you everything. Like that's not how this works. But I was sowing in a different manner. I wasn't sowing through my like effort, but in like my work and my toil, but rather in my patience and my peace. And my reliance on God and my faith and obedience to God. And so it was really interesting. But anyway, long story short, I'm like, just send him a message, like randomly, like out of nowhere. I wasn't really thinking about it, but I was like, what have we got to lose? Like, I don't have enough pride for you not to step into this. So he goes into it, and she messages him that day, the next day has an interview, the next day starts working, and then the next day after that, probably going to become a manager. And then she's also working at L9, and then all of a sudden, like making what I make. So we just doubled our income within like a couple of days. And then that allows us now to like be like, cool, we can move out and get our own place. And then now we got our own place, and we're going to move really close to the cafe. And she's being taught how to run a cafe because she's a manager, and she's really close to wealthy Christians. And it's just this whole like boom, like out of the gate, like within a week, it like changed. And but it was so hard to keep that patience and obedience when like the opposite, the deceiver was trying to tell me to work, was telling me to take control back. And I was, really, really intense, right? Like, and I think that's one that probably goes deep into you a little bit in a lot of ways, because like that's the culture. And my dad was probably very similar to you, very like provide for your family, do all these kinds of things. And I'm not looking to demonize that at all. But how is God, what is God directing you to, like how you're going to provide and the direction that he has for you? Because it's not always so like black and white, you know?
No, it's not. And so what I've learnt is very simple. God always has a better plan.
Yeah.
We just don't know it all the time.
Yeah.
There's been countless times where, you know, I do my planning Sunday night or Monday morning if I'm late, and it's like, I'm going to do this, this, and this. I get partway through the week and it's gone pear-shaped. I'm going, bloody hell, what's going on? Like, and then I get to Friday and something good happens. I look back and go, wow, that turned out way better than I planned. Thank you.
Yeah. That's literally it.
Like,
literally.
So
literally.
Why...
Yeah.
When I say we don't have, we're all responsible for our lives, and we're accountable for our actions.
Definitely.
And we do have to control some things or manage or
responsibilities.
But we don't control stuff. Like he clearly shows us, like, okay, yeah, that's your project plan, Rob, but here's where you're really going to be, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, 100%.
Here, Jake, you think you're going down there, and I'll let the deceiver, like, I'm going to teach you, you're going to learn. You know what you learn? You learn a lesson there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to teach you a lesson, Jake. Like you're trying to just, you think you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Your intentions are well and your heart's in it, but you're just a bit misguided at the moment because you got the deceiver over there just reeling you in slowly, lifted with a little bit of bait there, and saying, look, you need to take care of Bailey. What? But God had a plan for Bailey too.
Yeah, exactly.
Bailey needed to spread her wings.
Exactly.
Otherwise, she could have been independent. She needed to spread her wings, and she's opening a whole new world.
Yeah.
Your the dynamics of your relationship's changing because you're not like that every day, and that's not sustainable.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, that could have led to other things down the track, right?
Exactly.
And what has it done for you now? It's freed up your time to maybe now focus on those key clients again and watch your business boom. Yeah. And it's both boom.
And it's one of those like moments literally like just happen. And mind you, the apartment that we got is like, I literally have had this idea since I even left high school of like what the dream state would be to go out and live on my own or to have my own place. And it's like literally my dream apartment. Like I can't even bullshit. The only thing that's missing is a hot tub. Like that's it. And you can't get those on top of apartment blocks like that.
And you might find in that area, because Southport's one of the hot spots for building, you might find there's a lot more affluent people in that area, whatever. You might find other opportunities. Hey, maybe, just maybe down the track, Bailey might end up being a cafe owner. Maybe that's your next business.
So, and so like this is like everything you're saying is exactly the thoughts that started coming when she actually started working there and it was locked in. And it was hard at first because she went from like, I took her out of a job. So she hadn't a full-time job in like over a year or whatever. And she'd done like other stuff, social media work for Katrina and like all this kind of stuff, right? And she had her own business. She was doing that, but like, you know, full-time work. Yeah. And so like, that was all a thing. And it was a lot of pressure for her, like, on a like nervous system. Like she was all of a sudden nothing to waking up at 4 a.m. to drive 4:30 to 5 to have classes from 5 to 8, then to drive from there to the cafe from 8 to 8:30, starting work at 9, and then 9 to like 4:30, then driving home 45 minutes to it.
It's a big change.
So it ends up being almost like 12 hours and it's a lot for like, you know, like especially girls' nervous systems, how they're very irregular and all this kind of thing. And it was a big change. And so there was a lot of pressure and a lot of overwhelm, and but it was an expansion from God. And because we knew that God had done it, because this is the weirdest part with like what life used to be to what life is now with God, is this whole like the way that you look at everything and the way that you actually, your responsibilities and everything is like, you're no longer taking control but submitting always. Even if you have control, you're still in a submission. You know, like you might be like, oh, I'm the one making money, but I still submit my money. And that's like the worship part. But it's so cool of like all the things that have happened where I was like, oh, I've got this plan, this is going to happen, and all these expectations and this idea. And then like you submit it all and you're like, cool, I've got these like desires, but I submit it all. And then he gives you back like this, like, I can't even explain how amazing this situation is for like, specifically like for me, how much pressure and peace I've got with that. And now my business is doing well again, because I don't have this pressure of like, I'm the only source of income. And then now like it's just, it's beautiful and so amazing. And it's just like this realization of like, wow, like I didn't have faith that like, I guess you just don't know. It's submitting that you don't know the fruits of your actions. So why would you try and plant, sow, and reap by your own understanding? Because then you don't know where that leads you. But God has this ultimate plan, and you just don't know until you see it. And that's why it's faith. That's right.
Well, I think you got to plant many seeds, and what you probably don't realise, just by simply saying to Bailey, why don't you text for that? You planted a seed. There.
Yeah, exactly.
So you've got to plant lots, because remember, some you water them and they don't grow.
Yeah. I guess what I'm saying is you don't know what you're planting. And so why...
Well, you don't know what's going to come of that.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, and you also don't know what seeds to plant at the same time, because then that's the whole like taking control of like what crop is going to grow best at what season, but you don't know. It's like he told me in this whole thing, he was like, stop trying. He's like, where you walk, plant the seeds where you walk, mow the grass so it's clear, and feed the chickens when they're hungry. And I was like, that's a weird analogy. And I was like, well, he's saying like, he calls me to be a prophet and an evangelist. And he's like, don't force it. Just where you go, plant your seeds.
Yeah.
Then because why would you just walk all over the place? Like, right. And then like mow the grass so it's clear. So you're clear. You see the farm. You've got clear vision. You're in me. You understand what's going on, and then feed the chickens when they get hungry. And it's like feed those who are hungry for the word. You know, feed them the bread, right?
Yes.
And then the other thing he said stop trying. He said I'm the farmer. I own the farm. You're not the farmer. So stop trying to work it all out and just heed my instruction.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, that's what it kind of meant to be like, you know, we follow his ways and his understandings. They are so much higher than ours. And so lean not only on understanding, but he's the farmer. He owns the farm. So why, like, you're not a farmer, you're not the person who owns the farm. So why are you trying to work out how to do all these things? Like, how do you look after a farm? What do you feed the chickens? Like all this stuff. Like, I was like, yeah, I know nothing about farming. Like, I'm a city boy.
Yeah.
And so like, why am I trying to be the farmer?
I think another analogy is he created the jigsaw puzzle. We're just a piece in it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not there to figure out the whole jigsaw.
Yeah.
And only the portion of that we're part of to make up that.
Yeah.
You know, we're just a speck of dust, really.
Yeah, 100%.
The other thing I'll say is whenever the chips are down, and I've learnt this, is he's pruning your tree back so you can grow into bigger things.
Yeah, definitely.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
And that's what I try and remember when things are going wrong. Okay, there's a reason. There's a plan. I don't know why. Might frustrate me at the time, and I'll get a little bit cranky. But yeah,
you
just got to have that. You got to have that faith and go, okay. And you know what? For me, that makes life so exciting because I'm so used to planning everything, like
Yeah.
in IT, everything, and I know the outcome, and it gets
Literally.
boring. It gets freaking boring.
Yeah.
Every day I wake up now is a new day. Like, yes, I plan my week out, my schedule,
child
and
of
that,
God.
but I don't know who I'm going to meet at P. I love going to P3 because I don't know who I'm going to meet. I meet a new person. Every day I have a different conversation, and I just love. Like, my time schedule's not that good because I end up there longer than planned.
Yeah.
But it's a good feeling.
Yeah, it's like a child of God. It's like you're no more of a man of God, a child of God, right?
Yeah. Like what's today? Thursday. I had no idea I'd be in a Godcast today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had like Jake said, we'll get you in one day, and I thought, yeah, okay, that'll be cool. And then he asked me that, yeah, I'm up for that.
Nice.
I wanted to meet you because I've been listening to most of it.
Oh, they get crazy. These episodes after this.
Oh, we've done some more that we haven't
I'm looking
posted
forward
yet.
to listening to them.
Yeah.
It's got his whole story on it. It's
Yeah.
You'll love that one.
I have so many similarities with my brother, kind of being saved from death in a way. I won't go into this episode maybe later. Later, but I guess we talked a lot about on Godcast about the value of life, as in like you being saved, as in like you appreciate humanity a lot more, you appreciate people's perspectives a lot more in their stories. I'll ask something different actually. What
Curveball.
What has it taught you about death?
About death, I'm not scared of death.
Yeah.
I think it's just death is just one part of our body, not our spirit.
Yeah. So there's a difference between spiritual death and physical death, or
physical death. Yeah, our bodies might expire, but our spirits don't.
Explain. What do you think? How do you think they differ?
Well, our body has a expiry date.
Yeah.
It can only live so long as we get older, but our spirits can live forever. We came from a spirit. We started from the ground as a spirit.
Yeah.
We just don't realise that sometimes. Takes a few things in life. So, yeah, like I said, if I physically die tomorrow, I'm at peace with that.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave loved ones behind and all that, but I know it'll be sweet.
You'll like join back with your creator in a sense.
Yeah, and that's why I wouldn't say I got no fear in me, but I don't get intimidated by bullies or anything like that. Mate, if you're going to smash me and put me in hospital, kill me, whatever. I've almost died 3 times. Either God's going to save me or he's going to go, Rob, it's your time to go. Or you know what? I might let the guy smash me and then he'll feel sorry and come to God. So if I've got to be the sacrificial lamb, I'm not saying I want to be because it'll freak my mum out.
Yeah.
But, I've confronted some pretty big bullies. And it's not being a tough guy. I'm just at that point. I won't say I don't care, but life's too short. I stand by my principles and morals, and just like Jesus stood up against everyone crucifying him.
Yeah.
So it's not saying I look for trouble, but at the same time, I also see it as an opportunity to go, well, maybe they're broken. Maybe God's got a plan here. Maybe I was meant to meet this person and stand up to him. Maybe he'll respect me and go, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't hit that guy. Maybe we need to talk about it.
Yeah. I've wondered, in the Bible as well, Jesus talks actually a lot about hell than he does about heaven, right? And I'm very, very curious, because I still wrestle with this to this day. It's like, what happens after death is, and what is heaven truly in that way? I don't know. What do you think that is? Just in your
the kingdom, I don't know. Let me go there for a couple of days and I'll tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll book a holiday on what's one of the holiday sites?
Yeah. I've always wondered that question.
Heaven is us.
Yeah.
Look, the song "Heaven is a Place on Earth." I think looking through a different lens. I do there's some beautiful days you go up to Burleigh or whatever and see the beach and all the families and that, and it is. It is like there's a lot of beauty on this planet that he created for us. Sadly, collectively we've done a big job of partially destroying it.
Free will.
And it will be what it will be. Our pastor, because one thing I've always struggled with, and a lot of people have this well, why did God let that happen? Why is there kids starving and disease-ridden in Africa and whatnot?
Yeah.
And the answer is simple. God laid out the garden for all of us, right?
Yep.
And a few greedy evil suckers decided to take the lion's share for themselves.
Yeah.
So it's not like God said, oh, well, when I created it all, you guys can... He created everything equally and evenly. We're all equal, right? Just a few decided to team up with the deceiver. There's enough food and water to go around every man, woman, child, dog, mosquito on the planet, and money.
That's it.
But that's just the world we live in because we live in,
It was Satan's
yeah,
kingdom.
it's the Antichrist kingdom. So, and that's what makes life tough, and that's why a lot of us, we grow up with this dog eat dog, or the world that we're in, and there's a lot of people out there now that are very confused and they're lost, and they're just literally waiting, keeping their head above water financially, mentally. There's so much going on. We're so distracted by so many things. The deceiver is just like, he's a hard-working dude. Like he's relentless.
Because he exists in a part of culture and society as well, doesn't he? But my question, even to kind of build up on that, is when kids have cancer, for example, or when a natural disaster occurs, why do you think God allows that to happen, do you think? Because that's different than cultural now.
It's honestly one of the deepest questions.
Yeah.
It's one of the hardest ones to answer.
I think it comes back to, again, he created this planet equally. And I know from my limited reading, like when he originally created Earth and the people on it, and he divided, I think there was one tribe, and then basically made multiple languages so they'd all split up.
Tower of Babel.
And then he got the shits one day and said, you know what, the plan didn't work. He's all stuffed up like buggies. I'm just going to wipe yous all out. And I think he created just one. Was it Canaan? And then that became Israel. Like I'm a bit sketchy because I'm still learning that. And that was his Planet Earth version 2. Version 1, right off. Like bad project, put it away. So I think with that, he's had a couple of cracks. He's gone, for fuck's sake, guys, come on, I've given you all a fair go. We've wrecked the planet. These things that are happening are earthly things that are happening. They're consequences. And our pastor recently said about the food, why they're starving. He said, God didn't intend on that. He said, but he made us all free spirits and free of choice. And some of us to choose to be evil and do some horrible things and gather up all the food. They're messing with the weather now. We know that. There's a lot of horrible things happening in the world, and it's all evil. And to distill it down to one thing, which someone told me, there's a spiritual war that has been for thousands of years. And that's the only explanation. Another one is, just over 12 months ago, I lost my 21-year-old cousin in a serious car accident. I'd never met her. And, and she was an angel. Like, I never knew her, but you see her smile. She just lit up the room wherever she was. Like, she was literally, why did she get taken? And the only reason I can think is that she lived her purpose on planet Earth. She was an angel. She changed so many lives, or lit up so many lives. And God wanted to take her then.
And I think maybe something I can add to that as well. It's like, what has that given to you? Like, what has that taught you about loss for another human life? That's taught you the value of humanity in a way.
Yes.
But it's also taught you to be resilient and courageous in those moments of feeling like you're holy shit, the world's a bit dark now.
Like if the Antichrist comes, I'll stand up and have a crack at him.
Oh yeah.
I'll show him the cross on the back and say, let's rumble.
Conspiracy theory, AI is Antichrist. Perhaps.
Possibly. It does. It does humble you, and it goes back to what I said. I try to treat every day like it's my last. So, gratitude. I'm grateful, just grateful for a beautiful day today. Grateful to be here with you guys. Grateful to meet you in
Likewise,
person.
man. Likewise.
Just the little things. Whereas in the past, we just,
focused on the,
we're focused on the, if only I had $1 million, I could buy this house. And it's just that, you were saying it, I think, in Roosing, it goes from $10 to $100, from a kiss to this to that to it never ends until you find peace with God. And that's where a lot of people are lost now, because they can't get any, but it's a bit like your first drug shot. You never get that same hit again, and that's what junkies chase. Alcohol, I don't know about alcoholism, but at the end of the day, the deceivers got us all distracted and busy on these things, saying you need more, you need more, you need to be more, you're not good enough.
Yeah, and there's a thing with that too, because it makes the person live in the past or the future.
Yeah.
Whereas like a beautiful thing with Christians, or even just as on a psychological level, is that idea of just surrendering actually keeps you more present. Like you're here now.
Yes.
You're able to meet us. And you're not really thinking about the future or the past anymore. You don't live by the past because it's not dead.
Yeah.
You don't live by the future because it hasn't existed.
Yeah.
You live now because it's actually here.
Yeah,
I think it's
100%.
beautiful. Yeah.
And I think part of the faith is I know that, God's always got a better plan for us. So while I do try and plan for the future, I don't try and plan too far ahead now or get too cocky or confident, because my plans...
He will belt you.
my plans, he will soon... Yeah, he'll let me trip over and,
He'll let you fly off a mountain.
Yeah. No. That was hard work cleaning up that site, dude. But I did. Thank you for the Bose speakers. They were great. But no, I think just take each day as it comes. Life is an adventure. We're free spirits, and live happy, and try and help those who are struggling or not seeing it yet. And I think that's why I just, like Jared, one of my mates, he said, "You're such a happy prick."
Yeah.
You're always happy and laughing. No matter what happens, you always laugh. And I said, well, laughter's the best medicine, and just look at the bright side of life,
That's it. Mate, I guess my last question, if you want to ask something else, but personally for you, what's the best scripture you've ever read in the Bible, and why? Just for you.
So far, one I read every day is it Ephesians 6, the armor of God. That's one that comes to mind. Look, there are probably some better ones.
The ones that resonated.
Yeah, if that's the one, bro. That's the one.
Probably that one. That's my favourite. The armor of God. It reminds me that there's a spiritual wall put on your. You're going to test me now, aren't you? I should know. I read it every day.
I know it pretty well.
But it's basically, putting on your armor of God, speaking about the gospel, going out, living, doing, and not being afraid. The deceiver's there. He's going to come at you. But if you put on your armor, you'll be sweet. And I didn't do it one day before I left home, and I got attacked heavily. So it's proven that it works.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, man. For you.
Awesome. I guess we can do final remarks or conclusion.
Final conclusions. Yeah.
Final conclusions. I took away personally from that the most powerful thing that we have with God is that which is the like almost divine interventions and experiences and what'd you say, relationship we have with him, in the way that he shows us how much he loves us, and then it also shows us what faith and believing in him and trusting him actually does for our life. And so the life that you went through and everything that you had to endure, and then him coming to save you and proving almost his faithfulness and love for you in some of your darkest moments, you might say, where he was like, where you were at your worst, he came down, right? And that's kind of what the whole story of Christ is. And then you're like handing over and surrendering and giving faith to God and what that's produced in your life. And so that is literally, I think, the story almost for like every single person in the Christian faith, if they have a relationship with God. It's this like, I have a dark place, a dark moment in my life, and I can somehow recognize that even you were there in that, and that even if you weren't, it's because I shut you out, and so you would have been there, and then now because you've proven yourself faithful and true, then now my faith in you and has produced all these works and these fruits in my life, and now I walk with peace, love, and gentleness and kindness, and yeah. And I could only see how much I wish we had interviewed you like 10, 15 years ago to see that, right? Yeah, I could imagine the change.
Probably would have been one with the devil.
Yeah. So that's and I don't think people really will can fully understand that and digest that, except for you and except for those who have experienced the change in themselves, that renewing of the heart, and that
I relate so hard to the part where God actually saved you from death in that way, because the part where, like, personal for me, my father, he was basically we had the word that my brother was going to die. So in Bali there's this disease called malaria, so from mosquitoes. And my brother was in hospital for about 6 or 7 months, just breathing from tubes, about to go into a coma, about to die. And then my dad, not even Christian at all, like actually Hindu, Buddhist, spiritual, who am I type of person. And he all of a sudden gets his conviction to go to Bali. And when he's like looking around in the world, everything is gold. So like how he's looking at you right now will be like full plated gold, right?
That's what
That's what he saw.
Yeah.
And that lasted for about 3 days for him actually flying over to Bali. And there were so many things that were trying to stop him. Like he got into car accidents as well. Stuff was just delaying him from seeing his brother.
Yes.
From seeing his son, sorry. And then he goes in the hospital room, sees my brother there, pretty much just about to die. All the family are just preparing for his death, being like, is it the end of my brother? My dad basically just touches him on the shoulder like that, and he zaps awake.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Yeah, and the doctor said, the doctors saw it, like there were like maybe 6 doctors there, all just going, can you teach me how to do that? What did you just do? And they were just saying the recovery time for my brother was going to be another 6 months for him to start walking. In 3 days, he walked, and he said, the funniest thing, he said, I have to go to the bathroom. I need to piss so bad.
I've been in bed for long.
Yeah, I've been in bed for 6 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear your podcast.
Yeah, and then the funniest thing happened too. It was when my dad said, "Oh, this power! I'm so powerful. I'm a healer." He collapsed and became crippled for a day.
Wow.
Yeah, he became paralyzed, and he had to apologize to God and be like, "Okay, I'm so sorry. It's not me. It's you."
Yes.
And then he walked again.
God trimmed him back.
Yeah. So yeah, there's some parallels there where divine intervention is super, super real. And there's also some symbolism between like 3 days my dad saw gold, 3 days my brother started walking, 3 days Jesus rose from
Yeah.
And
the apartment level I'm living on is 33.
That's so sick. That's so sick, really.
Yeah, did I tell you about that? I don't want to cut out the story, but the apartment that we went for was 28. They said that we couldn't have that one, but that someone had just moved out and gotten a job in Perth, and they had to leave all of a sudden. And the apartment level, I noticed like 2 days after like going to see the apartment, was level 33, and I was like, look, like it's okay, like superstition, whatever. But I was like, anyway.
Yeah. And then the craziest thing happened. Spoiler alert for my video. I actually have a vision about seeing my dad at that time, and me and Jesus are basically in this vision, looking at that same experience as well. So yeah, there's something. That's
incredible.
Going on there. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, to see wait that
I can't wait to hear it.
His journey, I think, is actually I've listened to testimony after testimony after testimony. I think the only one I know that's like as strong as that is like people being at like blank range, being shot at with a 9mm like 6 times, and not a bullet hit him. Yeah. And like stories like that. And now that's Todd White. He's now like super famous, like massive preacher, goes around the world evangelizing everywhere. He's super Holy Spirit led. But like his like that his testimonies is probably one of the strongest I've heard One of.
Yeah, because it doesn't include me. It's actually my whole family, which is included as well, and they're not even Christian.
Yeah. That's the other spin on it.
Yeah.
But then
For now.
Yeah. Well, his dad technically is walking the journey.
Yeah.
His dad has started for sure.
Well, the intervention process takes a while.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, for me, divine intervention is one of the things that I came up with at the time.
3 times he saved your life.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh.
So for me,
And the 4th time, there's no do-overs.
I was like, for me, I think in summary, I was like a lot of people walking on this earth, felt I was alone, not realizing he was right beside me, but I didn't want to see it or whatnot. And then he's finally intervened, give me a smack in the head a few times and go, hello, I'm actually here, mate.
Knock, knock.
And he's literally, we talk about he has a greater plan. I was on a trajectory. He literally got my life, tipped me upside down, poured all the old life out.
Wow.
And put me, and I feel like I'm born again.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's born again Christian, but I feel like I've got a new life. He's given me a new start on life, a new look. And said, that plan you had was shit, mate. Like, that's not what I had planned from you. Now you can see me. He needed to tip me out and get my old eyes out and put a new set of eyes on and let me see. And now I look back and realise, there was one set of footsteps, but that was him carrying me. Now there's 2 steps. I can see him right beside me and I feel it every day. And
do you feel like he's with you right now? As in, like,
Yeah, I feel like crying right now. So,
sick, man.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Sick. I understand, man, for sure. Oh, thank you, Rob, man.
Yeah, thank you,
Rob.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
thank you.
so much for being
Got to stand now. That's the longest I've sat,
I can see you. You're just like, you and Jacob's talking. I'm like, he's like, Jesus, man. He's like,
Yeah.
Know who you is, but I know who you ain't.